When he came home that evening, the house looked exactly as he'd left it. The lights were off. Dinner wasn't on the stove. The television was silent. At first, he assumed I'd taken our daughter to the park. Then he noticed the envelope on the kitchen table. Beside it lay an old photograph from our first family vacation and my wedding ring. I had taken everything that mattered to me, just not the things he expected. The letter wasn't angry. I had spent too many years swallowing anger for it to survive. It simply said, I kept waiting for you to notice that I was disappearing long before I walked out the door. Today I'm choosing not to disappear anymore. Please love our daughter better than you loved our marriage. There were no accusations, no demands, no threats. Only goodbye. For years, I had become smaller to make room for his moods, his work, his ambitions, his excuses. Every disagreement ended the same way, with silence that somehow became my responsibility to fix. People rarely saw anything wrong. He paid the bills. He never shouted in public. He remembered birthdays. From the outside, we looked fortunate. Inside the house, loneliness had learned my name. Our daughter was still young when I left. I made sure she knew one thing before anything else. This isn't because of you, she cried. So did I. Leaving wasn't brave, it was simply the first honest thing I had done in years. The first months were brutal. Money was tight, I questioned every decision. Some nights I almost picked up the phone just to hear a familiar voice, even if it had forgotten how to comfort me. Instead, I learned how to build a quieter life. I found steady work. I rented a small apartment. I stopped apologizing every time I needed something. Eventually, the silence around me stopped feeling empty. It became peaceful. Our daughter grew between two homes. I never spoke badly about her father. She deserved parents, not competing stories. When she asked why we separated, I always answered the same way. Sometimes people stop seeing each other while living in the same house. As she grew older, her questions became fewer. Not because she stopped wondering, because she started noticing. She saw who listened, who remembered, who showed up without being asked. Time has a patient way of revealing what arguments never can. 10 years passed, then the invitation arrived, our daughter's wedding. She wanted both of us there. No conditions, no sides, just parents. I arrived early. The venue buzzed with quiet excitement as families embraced and old friends laughed. I hadn't seen him in a decade. When he walked through the entrance, his eyes searched the room casually. Then they found me. He froze. Not because I looked extraordinary, not because I wanted revenge. He froze because I looked like someone he had never truly known, peaceful, confident, comfortable inside my own life. The woman he remembered had always looked tired. She no longer existed. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then our daughter reached us. She smiled with the calm certainty of someone who had carried this moment in her heart for years. I need both of you. The officiant welcomed the guests before the ceremony began. Then he paused. Our bride asked for something very specific today. Before we begin, she'd like to thank both parents for shaping the person standing before you. Love sometimes continues together, and sometimes it continues separately. Either way, sacrifice deserves to be recognized. The room fell silent, no applause, no spectacle, just quiet acknowledgement. Our daughter took my hand first, then her father's. She whispered, "Thank you for loving me in different ways." That simple moment shifted something no argument ever could. No one was declared right, no one was declared wrong. There was only truth standing where assumptions had once lived. During the reception, he approached me. I read your letter hundreds of times, he said softly. I didn't understand it then. I looked at him for a long moment. And now? He glanced across the room at our daughter laughing with her new husband. I think I confused providing with caring. I thought staying married was enough. I nodded. Neither of us tried to rewrite the past. Some apologies arrived too late to repair what was broken, but they can still be honest. When the evening ended, we stood outside beneath strings of warm lights. He smiled sadly. I'm glad you found the life you were looking for. I answered with the only truth that mattered. I stopped looking for someone else to give it to me. As I walked toward my car, I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel vindicated. I simply felt free. 10 years earlier, I had left behind an envelope, a photograph, and a wedding ring. What I carried away that day had taken much longer to recognize: my self-respect. And this time, I wasn't leaving it behind for anyone.